Today we will talk about views, what they are in SQL world. Doesn't matter that we will use relational and in some not relational database, they exist like objects. For this reason, it's good to know why we could use them, when we could use, how we could create, how we could drop, change, and so on. For this reason, first part in our video will be some theoretical, some explanations, but in second part we will go across the demo to get better understanding. If you like this video, if you want to be part of our community, don't wait, click on the subscriber button and not forget to click on bell button too if you want to be informed for new interesting videos from my channel. Thank you in advance about that, but let's now start with the actual part. What exactly is SQL view? And yeah, what actually is behind this object? Although this is just one SQL query, like a syntax, we have the SQL syntax, SQL query syntax, and just we put a name of our SQL query. Why we could do that? If we have some query code, doesn't matter that we will join several tables or only one table with particular filters, aggregations, and so on, but we need frequently to use this SQL query, it's definitely make a sense to create it like a view. And behind this view, every time when we work with the view, actually we will work with this SQL query. Just we will reuse it. And if you want to put this SQL query in bunch of places, will be much easier to create a view and to use view in, for example, several reports that they have the core structure, and this core structure to put in separate view, and only the small changes between two reports to customize in separate places like a store procedure, for example. But yeah, first big positive is that we could reuse our SQL query and to put it just with some name. They are in general read-only. We have some small part of scenarios that we could insert in a view. I could surprise you with that, but if you want to learn more, please leave me a comment, and yeah, and I will create a separate video to explain little more better about this kind of scenarios. This is really interesting. Most of the people don't know about that, but yeah, this is up to you guys. If you want, we could make a video for that, but in otherwise it's not make a lot of sense. They don't need to use extra storage because that is just stored SQL script that we just reuse it and run it when we call the view, when we use the view. But this don't mean that we store like a table or something like that. We just rerun the query and we reuse the result from this query for our purposes. Another scenario that we could use views, it's in case that we want to secure our database, and for example we are in scenarios that marketing manager want to get information for marketing department. We could just filter the data from the table that he want to reach it and to get more detailed information for example for employees only from this department, and this will stop the marketing director to get and reach the data for the whole company, because will be not so nice to know, for example, what are the salaries in another departments, for example, because this is, how to say, private information, and he need to get information only for him department. For this reason, for security purpose, we could just filter it the data and to not provide access to whole table. For marketing director, to provide information only for him department. And when he called the view, behind the view, we do have this extra where clause up to the table that will filter it only this department. And my marketing director, for example, could reach only the views that it's filtered and will provide information only that this person need to reach it. For this purpose and reason, it's really nice and good to use views. We have a look on two scenarios: reusable code and security purpose. That is the most popular reasons to use views. Let's go across of our demo site. Here we have some database that I use for lectures and this kind of videos like this one. And for demo purpose, like at the moment, I will use employees table. It's really similar to example that I give you. Let's accept that marketing department is with number 6. And now we have the query and want to provide to marketing director to see only the names, salaries and phones for his employees. And yeah, because if we provide access to whole table, we will give him the whole information. But at the moment we want to filter it and provide information only for department 6. For this reason, let's create a view up to this SQL query. How we could do that? Syntax is just create command that we use for whole objects in SQL world that we want to create them. After that, it's the type of the object. In our case, it's a view. For this reason, we will write a view. And after that, we need to add like a syntax name of this view to name this view. Let's say that this will be marketing report. Why not? Here's something important that we could use. It's not actually necessarily, but it's like a good practice for us. It's to put one v or view in the beginning or at the end of this name. Why? Because when we work with views, we treat them really similar like a tables. For this reason, we should easy recognize that this is a view, not its table, because as you could see here in the left side, if we want to see this object, it's not in a folder tables here in dbeaver. I use this program like a system, like a user-friendly interface program that I work with the databases. But yeah, we will not go in a lot of details about the program. It's important here that doesn't matter that it's dbeaver or some other program that we could use to work with our relational, not relational databases and so on. Usually we have different places, different folders for tables and for views. And to could really easy recognize that this is a view, not a table, because as I already mentioned, after that when we use it in some statements, we work with it just like a table, but that it's not table. We should know that it's a view and behind of it it's some SQL query. And if we want to get only one or two columns and to get them from this view, in most of the cases will be much better just to see from which table we get these columns and directly to get the information from them if it's possible, if you have the full access, instead to run some really big query that it's with worse performance if we just go and get the columns that we need to use from table directly. Because here behind of the view we could have 5, 10, 20 joins, aggregations, subqueries, and so on. So many stuff. And to make it too complex, which is, how to say, bad practice. But yeah, let's say a little more about them after I finish my explanation about the syntax, how we could create it. And yeah, now we mark it, we know that it's a view, we know what is the name we want to create it, and just like a part of the syntax, we should write here s. This is the core syntax when we create a view, and after s we just put our select statement, doesn't matter what it is. Here we could use for our select statement aggregations, building functions, joins, and so on, and subqueries, and what we wish. When we write our create script, we need to run it, and we are ready. Our view it's already created. If we refresh here on top of this folder, we will see our view here. If we want to use it, as I already mentioned, we treated it really similar like a table. Doesn't matter that behind of it it's not physical storage, it's just this query that we reuse it and rerun it when we call the view, when we select the view. Here, when we execute this SQL statement, we just say call me this view, and the result from this view is this report, this select statement. And here we just could modify the select statement and get only some of the columns from the views. We could join it with another tables, and so on and so on, and just to be part of another bigger SQL query. About the bad practice, as I already mentioned, if we write here too complex SQL query, and this SQL query it's customized only for one place if we need it, maybe it's not be the best to create a view for it. And when we want to use SQL views, it's really important to have in mind what exactly is behind of it, what exactly is the SQL query. And if we want to take only part of the information and only 2-3 columns from it, it's much better just to see from which table we get them and to work with these two tables instead of to rerun the query with so many joins, so many aggregations, so big performance impact, instead to work with less tables. For this reason, just be careful. For sure, check what you have like a query and think, do you need exactly to use that, or you could write smaller query that in your case will work much better and yeah, will work for you. Actually, do you need to use this view for your purpose? If you want to drop view, what is the command behind that? It's really straightforward. Every time when we want to drop object in database world, doesn't matter that it's a view or something else, we just need to write drop, name of the object, in our case it's a view, and the name of this view, and that's it. Now this view not exist. When we try to call, we cannot find it because not exist. When we refresh, we will stop to hear it here in view section. How we could change it if you want to, we already have it, I just will create it again to have it. And if this view exists, now already exists because I recreated it, and we want to change our view, for example, if we want to get not only department 6, we want 6 and 7, for example. Then we should change create to outer, and another syntax is just the same, change create to outer, and this view will be outer it. We change the word, after that replace the SQL query with the new one, with the last version, and we are ready to execute it and to have our change. If you like this video, if you have some extra questions, if you want to speak about more about the views, just put a comment, or if you want to speak for something else that it's really interesting for you from database world, just leave me a comment and I will create a video for you. Thank you for the watching. If you like the video, click on the like button and we'll see you in the next video.